Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica!
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And we are here to rant and rave.
Why are you laughing at me? What I do weird?
Because it's not weird. I think it's always like a nervous reaction where I'm like, be positive. You're always like, how are you? I'm like, I'm great. How are you? And you're like, I'm well, thanks. You're more normal and down to earth. You're like, I'm well, thanks. Things could be better, things could be worse. And I'm like, I'm great.
Well, and not to tattle on you, but to tattle on you. You're not great because I just talked to you in the green room dump. You're not bad. You're just busy and frazzled. So
I am frazzled. Ay, ay, ay.
So much travel and work. I just want to let the listeners know Jessica is traveling right now and working. She's recording in between her work sessions. That's how dedicated she is. Because I feel like I'd be like, sorry, Jess, we're going to have to wait a week.
No. I want to do it. And actually, I don't even mind recording on the road. It's actually kind of fun. It's usually typically quiet in the hotel, right? Like there's no leaf blower because I'm on the 8th floor right now.
There's no texts
like
from Howlin'.
Oh my God, saying, be quiet. What if my phone starts ringing and it's the hotel front lobby and they're like, we got a noise complaint? Because I'm like, you know what?
And they're like, they'll probably be like, and by the way, we didn't use air freshener this time. Are you happy?
And trust me, they did. Oh my God. No, I don't mind it at all. It's actually delightful. So thank you for working around my insane schedule.
That's all right.
Sometimes people think I'm exaggerating and they're like, well, you're just always busy. I'm like, hey, I'm not always busy. I guess some nights I'm sitting at home like a lump on a log because I can't even though it's a free night, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to leave my house. I'm like, I go. And then I'm just like,
yeah.
So
I know, me too. Well, how was your week?
It was good. I'm trying to think. Had a friend in town. Our friend Nick is visiting, and I got to see him for all of one night before I left. But I'll hopefully see him again when I'm back in town. But we had fun. Went out, did a little day drinking. I kind of paid the price for that. Yeah.
I'm too old. I'm too old for day drinking. I swear, when you hit, let's say 37, you smack into a wall where your body goes, I don't like alcohol anymore.
Correct. And it's like, I didn't get wasted, but I was like,
nope, but
God.
You still the next day you feel it like never before. I know.
Yes.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's so crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, I've had a wild week of not drinking because LAUSD is striking this week. So not that I drink at home anyway, but that's been our craziness this week. And listen, I understand. I understand why they got to do what they got to do. It just, makes things a little crazy.
Yes.
Also, great big news for you guys, for those of you who watch. I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll stop touching my hair all the time. It's time for a haircut again. And I have to rectify the problem. I have to go in and say to her, she's going to be like, how'd you like your hair? And I'm going to be like, hated it. Thank you for giving me exactly what I asked for. You did. This is in no way your fault. It is completely mine. And I've paid the price for 6 weeks.
I think you need to bring in like a cachet of, remember how they used to have that in the salons, even through the 90s? You would sit down and they'd literally have books, almost like headshot books of people that they would photograph against a solid background at a hair show.
Their hair.
So you could be like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want asymmetrical with frayed ends.
What is this? Kate plus 8? Was that her name?
Oh my God! That's her exact haircut. Kate
Yes.
Kate. Holy
Whoa.
crap. Blast from the
Wait.
past. God.
I just have to do something. I don't know. No more Bob Lobs for Dana. Dana looks like an old, tired out mom of 5. And that's just unacceptable because I can't steal the look from those women who work that hard. Anyway, that's really been, I mean, the biggest news really is that we've had a ton of rain. I mean,
again, even down here it's raining.
Yesterday it hailed at my house. Like I could hear it hitting the window. And then I heard Henry go, "I'm coming." And he opened the door and I just heard my gorilla cat huffing his way into my room because I was watching TV in there, soaked and terrified. He's like, "I did not move to California for this." He's a Missouri boy.
I know.
My cat. And he was like, "I didn't come here for this. This is terrifying." So he came running inside.
I can totally picture him and that gorgeous mane of his.
He's a beast.
Oh,
he's a beast.
That'll teach.
But I did get a lot of
cuddle and snuggle.
I was gonna say I got a lot of cuddles after that. And cuddling or spooning with him is like having a baby. Like he let me spoon him yesterday, which he doesn't always do. And you're just holding this giant. It's like having a baby. He's bigger than my dog.
He is.
It's the best. I'm
it.
like, oh, be scared all the time. All right. Anyway, we did not have exciting weeks. I'm glad we spent a lot of time.
We did not. But you know what? My dad and I have been saying that lately. It's like nothing to report. You know what? That's maybe not a bad thing.
No news is good news.
Seriously.
I stole that
These
from
days
Robin
I'll
Hood.
take it because every
Robin
day
Hood
there's
Men in
something.
Tights. I watched Robin Hood Men in Tights last night. And you know why? And I have no shame about it. You know, I'm not a huge fan of slapstick comedy, like the Mel Brooks or the Airplanes or anything. And so I started thinking about it last night and I was like, why do I love this movie so much? And then it clicked. You're shallow. You are madly in love with Carrie Elways. You always will be. And that's the only reason you repeatedly watch this movie. I want to chew on his lips like pieces of candy. That man. And then I got weirded out because I said to Dan Tipton, he was watching something else. He's been in a Superman phase, watching all the old Supermans. And so I walked through and I was like, "Hey, how old was Carrie Elways when he shot Robin Hood Men in Tights?" He's like, "Well, let me look it up." He goes, "Oh, yes, 25. I was like, "What?" I felt so disgusting. So then I was trying. And the confidence that oozes through every one of his manly pores.
Yes.
But then I started feeling like a weirdo that here I was like drooling over a 25-year-old. Now, then I was like trying to do mental gymnastics in my brain going, but he's older than me. So at that point, I would have been, and doing all this math, which we all know I'm no good at math. And I just felt weird. Is that weird? We should ask the audience. Is that weird to still lust after somebody that in that frozen moment was 25 when I was very young? But now I'm not very young and I'm still drooling over him at 25. But I'll be honest, I would drool over him now. I drooled over him
your
in
contemporaries.
that stupid, I shouldn't say stupid. It wasn't necessarily that stupid, but it wasn't great. That Alicia Silverstone movie. Where she was trying to seduce him.
Or something.
And there were bees in it. I remember that.
I think it was called The Crush or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I absolutely saw that movie. I was in love with both of them.
Just hot
Clueless
people.
is one of my favorite films. So her in a movie with him, I was like,
just a lot of hot people. Yeah. God, he's beautiful. That's all I can say. I just lost my whole train of thought because I was lost in Carrie Elway's face.
I was scribbling multiple notes while you were talking because so many things you said. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's all so timely. Slapstick. You don't like Airplane? My husband watched that with Nick last night. They watched Airplane 2. We watched the original Airplane a few weeks ago. I can still quote that movie in entirety. Alan was like, could you please stop talking, because the entire movie I was saying
That's Dan Tipton too. I don't know why it's never been my faves is slapstick. I don't know why.
Oh my God. These
I
Tupperware
know.
are great for saving foods during the monsoon months.
Okay, that could be from
That's
Silence
one of
the
Julie
Lambs.
Haggerty's lines. Talking
I don't
to
know.
women in an African village.
I
Having
don't
a
know.
Tupperware party.
I don't know this, but I could
Hey.
quote Robin Hood Men in Tights if you want.
Carrie Elways. Here's my 6 degrees of separation with Carrie Elways. First of all, to this day, one of the people that I've been the most enthralled with, for lack of a better word, was a teacher that I took multiple times. One of my professors in college, Mark Drew was the name. He was an English professor. I loved him. I took creative writing with him. I took early American literature with him. He made me fall in love with it. So many things. He taught me the true story of Pocahontas and what really happened and the history of that. And I just loved him. Okay. He looked like if Carrie Elways had been mauled by a pack of wolves. So like a little rougher, a little tougher, a little scarred up in the face. I don't know what happened to Mark in his life, but that's exactly what he looked like. So hot.
This is Jessica Young. Statement of 2023. If you are a good-looking man that's been mauled by a pack of wolves, you are at the top of my list. No wolves, no Jessica. You got it?
Come on down to the Great Wolf Lodge.
If you cannot survive as a man being attacked and mauled by a pack of wolves, you're not man enough for Jessica, so step away.
I have no use for them.
I don't want your pretty face. I want something that's been touched by the claws of a wolf. I want to know that this man can fend off whatever comes at me in the wilds of Los Angeles. I'm dying. I'm dying.
Then here's a little Hollywood.
Yeah, because I'm waiting to see what this connection is. Because so far it's just I had a teacher that was attacked by wolves that reminded me of.
Excuse me. Looked like Harry Elways if he had been attacked by wolves.
Right. My bad.
Okay, some deep scarring.
Okay.
Little things, his little goatee, all that. Carrie Elways, Dana, I've worked in retail over the years as my day job since I've been in Los Angeles. And I have worked with, been in their homes, had them come in my store, an array of like A1, A-list celebrity, like people that you would be like, oh my God, like unmistakable, right?
Yeah.
One of those people was Carrie Elways. He walked into my store one day, and this is when I worked near Sony and Fox. I was literally like dead in the middle of both studios. So once in a blue moon, someone would walk in and I'd be like, including one day at the stoplight, I heard somebody blasting a song, but it was a really good song. So I wasn't angry about it. And I looked out the front window. I'm like, oh, it's just Queen Latifah in a convertible Rolls Royce.
No, I would lose my mind.
No, I was so excited because I'm a huge fan.
Me too. And I've never met her. I also have a massive girl crush on her. I think she is so stunning.
Yes. I've loved her since she first came on the scene, right? When we were in high school.
Yes.
So this guy walks in and immediately I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's Carrie Elways. And by the way, he was wearing iridescent sunglasses.
Okay,
but first
so
of
they're
all, his
revealed.
mouth.
Yeah, so
I'm telling you, I recognize his mouth.
That's why I said I want to chew on his lips like candy. I believe you 100%. And then was there a reveal of those blue eyes I want to swim in? They're like that blue that's like a blanket I want to put over myself. I'm losing it, Jessica.
He never did. He kept them on the entire time. We were talking. He was asking me. He's like, what a wonderfully curious shop he said. And like the accent, and I was like, "Ah!" So I'm like making small talk and trying to be cool and whatever. And then and he's like, well, thank you so very much. He goes, what a weird thing that I stumbled in here. I just went across the street. Someone recommended that computer repair store. So I'm just waiting to pick it up. Carrie.
He introduced himself.
He reached out his hand and he said, Carrie. And I was like, I know.
Yes.
I knew the minute you walked in.
I don't know how you kept your composure because I was watching that movie
I
last
almost
night.
fainted.
Stupid movie, right? And I repeatedly, every scene I kept thinking, it's terrible. I sound like such a dirty old woman.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm scooting over so I can show you. I wanted to lick him from here and he would turn, like, don't look at all my double chins. Okay, so I'm going to hold him to the side. And he would turn like this. And I wanted to lick him from here all the way up. All the way up from the center of his chest, all the way up to beside his ear. I wanted to lick him. I just wanted to go. Oh
my God.
It just seemed like the perfect stretch for my tongue to lap. And then that's when I started going, how old is he in this? Thank God Dan Tipton doesn't listen
I
to
know
this.
about. Okay. Well, guess what? Here's something that you need to tell Dan Tipton, because then when you said he's been rewatching the Supermans, Nick and I are obsessed with a couple of different specific franchises. The whole Superman franchise is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, the other night.
Mm.
I'm telling you right now, that is hands down one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's 1 hour and 29 minutes. It makes zero sense. And Gene Hackman is back, God bless, I love him, as Lex Luthor. And to try to beat Superman, he decides that he breaks into a museum, steals a strand of Superman's hair, attaches a piece of fabric with it, so it's DNA and fabric, puts it in a missile, it's fired into the sun, where it implodes and creates instantly, from birth to full-grown man, Nuclear Man, who's an actor that doesn't speak. They modulate Gene Hackman's voice, and he has long painted silver fingernails with electricity going between them.
Okay, so we can both agree that's probably one of the worser, is that a word? One of the not so great movies we've ever seen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why did you just ruin it and explain it to everyone?
You wanted them to go watch it for themselves?
Right.
Or just pretend like it never happened?
Either way.
Please watch it. If you have kids, there's nothing inappropriate in it, I don't think, for a child to see. Except for Muriel Hemingway, who's trying to act like Michelle, what's her name?
Obama.
No, Fabulous Baker Boys.
Gallagher.
She's married to David E. Kelly, I think.
Pfeiffer,
for the love of God.
Oh my God, I guessed right. I was just guessing. Also, I don't know who I looked at to celebrate.
And then she's like, I got it right.
I got it, you guys. Literally, I'm the only human in the house. There's only plants and pets. That's it. Oh, Jessica.
Oh, God, it's so good. Anyways, one last thing about Superman.
Yes,
Christopher
please.
Reeve was a beautiful man. Okay, that's all I can say. He was a beautiful, beautiful man.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree. But I'm sure he's wonderful.
You don't find him attractive?
I never did.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
As Superman, he really makes me weak in the knees.
No, I could see where people would be, but I don't know. I'm a weirdo, man. Huh. I'm attracted to Steve Buscemi, Shammy, however you say it.
Oh my God, that's right. Yes.
Jeff Goldblum. I like some weirdos, but then throw in some Idris Elba. Listen, I can tell you how to make a perfect man shake for Dana Powell if anyone is ever interested.
Man shake. Oh my God, I love it.
Ooh, make a man milkshake. All right, should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Oh, before we get into it, why don't you tell people how to get a hold of us?
By the way, who am I, Tone Loc? Let's do it. I can't even try to imitate. As deep as my voice is, I can't tone loc it.
I mean, that honestly wasn't bad. I met him at a bar in my hometown one time. I do love his voice. There's just something about it. Distracted once again, Jessica, by your voice. All right. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of us.
Oh, yes. Please continue to converse and chat and send your things our ways, and find us, if you haven't already, at the Rants and Raves podcast on both Instagram and Facebook. You can find us on TikTok at the Rants and Raves podcast. The actual call sign is the Rants and Raves P. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are on YouTube, the Rants and Raves podcast. You can find full video recordings of each show as well as our audio. The audio, as always, if you're listening to us right now, you already know where you get your podcasts. You can send us an email at any time at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com. And last but not least, you can send us a message through the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Thank you. Dana, take it away.
Don't doff your fake hat at me.
Good day.
I said good day, man. All right, Jessica, let's get into some rants. I have a rant from a listener. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Car rental. Not having a car for you when you show up to get your reservation that was made weeks or months in advance, only to be told, oh, sorry, we don't have a car for you. To add insult to injury, then they asked me if I wanted to upgrade. Of course, I assumed it meant they would give me the bigger or better car due to the mix-up. Yeah. But no, they wanted me to pay to upgrade to a luxury SUV when I had booked a small sedan. Okay, pay to upgrade. Okay, let me get through it, Dana. I'm so mad already. I waited 2 hours. No. Until I was given a car. I'm so sick of people not caring and customer service being a joke. You know what? Car rental places specifically, I feel like they just don't care. I remember one time, we have to rent
always
cars
been bad.
When we go back to Missouri, we always have to rent a car to get between Springfield and St. Louis and stuff. And I one time left a very expensive pair of sunglasses in the car. We called an hour later. They were in the sunglass holder, and they were like, that's weird. They're not here.
Uh-huh.
Really? Because if I had gone and looked, I bet I would have found them.
Yep.
Anyway, that's happened to us before too, where we've showed up and they'll be like, we'll have gotten like a sedan or something larger because we have luggage and stuff, and they'll be like, sorry, the last one went out, someone didn't return one, whatever their excuses are. And then it's like, but you can have this 2-door whatever, and we're like, that's not what we reserved.
Right.
Also unhelpful. We won't fit in it unless we're all like this against the windows.
Exactly.
And also they're just like, sorry about it. It's like, no, there has to be an answer.
Yes.
Like, I reserved this and counted on you, so you better come up with a solution. I would not have stood for paying for it. I would have said, no, you're going to give me that car for this price, period. You told me when I showed up I'd have that car. It's not here, so give me a better one.
Yes.
That's
also,
not my
thing
fault.
That drives me nuts is, I'm sorry, this is not like the olden days where there was maybe 10 cars to be had in all of the town, right? I get it. People could get in an accident, the car could get stolen, or somebody's like gets stuck or just decides they want to extend their vacation. That happens all the time. But you don't only have 20 cars and constantly have 20 reservations out. You have to have extra cars within the fleet. Just like right now, I could go, shit, I need to go rent a car in an emergency.
Yes.
And be able to walk into a place. Now, I may not be able to get the car I want, but they're like, well, this is what we do have available. We have these 8 cars. Take your pick, right?
Yeah.
It's insane. And the last thing anyone wants to do after they've traveled, I don't care where you're flying to or from, is wait at an airport for baggage or transportation. It's a lot. You want to get to wherever you're going and just go.
You're tired. Yes.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That would make me furious. And I would also ask for, because I'm assuming since this person wrote in, it's all said and done. I would ask for some kind of compensation. Like, give me a discount, give me a partial refund, something. Because
and this is what I was
if
gonna
they
say.
had to be somewhere at a certain time and they get stuck sitting there for hours? Like, what?
The upgrade is not on the customer's end when it's your mistake. It's like,
exactly.
Ms. Powell, we are so sorry for the mix-up. I hope this will be okay. I know you requested a Honda Accord. We'd like to give you this Toyota 4Runner for the same price.
Same price. Yes.
Okay. But then
it's
again,
already,
I will say, somebody might be nervous about that. And they wanted a little car.
Especially gas consumption. There's going to be a difference. But anyway, it's on them to fix the problem. They gave their word that you would have a car ready for you of a certain size when you got there. It's on you to fix that if you cannot show up with what you said.
Totally. I totally agree.
And that's when my inner hateful person would come out and be like, no, this is unacceptable. I guarantee you the word unacceptable would come out of my mouth several times at that counter. Unacceptable. I even say that to my child when he does something. I'll just go, unacceptable. Like that fixes everything. Oh my God. Well, listener, we're on your side. That's terrible.
Yes. So lame. And again, I would say, write to the company. Now, I'm not trying to assuage people from not doing that, but I've said this for years. When it's a huge company, I feel like they just don't care anymore.
They just don't.
Even in like when we were kids, if your parents called the cable company, the phone company, anything, and said, I've been a customer for 12 years. I'm so sorry, Mr. Powell. Yes, right away, or we're going to credit your account. You know what? We're going to go ahead and add this on for next month. Now they don't care. They're like, oh, my friend said was it you? Somebody, if it wasn't you, recently had a serious problem with their cable and called and said, why did the bill go up $35 and there was no notice? I just noticed it on my bill, blah, blah, blah. And the person said, well, the rates went up. Would you like me to connect you with the disconnection department? And he goes,
remember when it used to be, can I send you to customer retention? Remember that? Yeah.
He goes, wow. He goes, I'm already furious that you raised my bill for no reason and I'm not getting anything for it, nor was I given any notice. But that's where we're going from A to Z. I just told you I wanted to know why. I'm not yelling. I'm not asking for anything except for you to explain. And your response is to put me through to disconnect.
Quit. Yeah.
So you guys don't have to deal with it. So you don't have to hear from me. Like, it's insane.
They just don't care.
It is worth it. Like sometimes, look, I think I talked about this in the early days of our podcast and it got me so angry. Because finally I was like, Dad, if you go back to Chipotle one more time, I'm going to have a serious problem with it. Because he kept going back, but he kept complaining. Because every time he went, he's like, they used the filthy rags from such and such, and then they used it to clean the spout on the drink dispenser. He's right with all of his complaints.
Yeah.
But then stop going there.
Yeah.
He would keep writing in, and they kept refunding him and sending him coupons for the next time.
So then he would go back.
I'm like, you just keep going back.
Yeah.
Now I'm yelling. Security.
You're yelling.
It's fine. Sorry. For my 2-bedroom. Oh my God. It's me in here. You boy.
Oh boy.
Well, since I'm already yelling, I'll just get into my rant.
Let's move right into yours.
Certainly not sweet. And I know I can't be alone in this. I really, really would love to know who, why, when major cities thought it would be a great idea to close every single restaurant by 9:00. I'm in a thriving metropolis of the United States. I'm in San Diego, California. There are 2 major, huge universities here, multiple colleges. I can't tell you how many beaches and how many people vacation here. Also, San Diego is like convention central, like year round. Everything from Comic-Con to medical conferences are held down here. So you definitely have the draw for people that are going to be wanting to eat. Maybe can't get there till about 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I know when you're in a tiny little town where things are slower and it's a smaller population and everybody
then it
just knows,
doesn't
and
make
yeah.
sense. Yeah, then it doesn't make sense to hold longer hours.
Right.
But when you're in a big city, and also like
It's nuts.
just speaking as a parent, there were times like you can get your kid down to bed by 8:30, and then the other parents there or whatever, and you're like, I would love to take this time that I have that's me time and go sit and have dinner with a friend.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yes.
Do you think that it's a holdover from COVID stuff because people weren't going out for so long?
I mean, I think some people have definitely backed their hours up, which I get, and I can't blame them for that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you even made it through, that's a living miracle, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people had to do what they had to do. I think a lot of places are still not up to snuff as far as, or up to snuff. That's probably not something you should say. I don't know what that even means, y'all. Let's just rewind. Up to par.
Up to par?
I'm just so scared of things that were part of vernacular. I'm not an idiot, y'all. There's plenty of things I knew were not right as a kid, no matter
Right.
how it was packaged. But I said, there's a lot of phrases or words that you say that you heard your whole life through everyone in society, not just one person. So I get paranoid. I'm going to shut up.
Well,
and
this
stop babbling.
listen, I looked it up in the dictionary on Google, which they got it from Oxford. Says up to snuff means meeting the required standard. They need $1 million to get their facilities up to snuff. So I think you're okay. Adequate, competent. I think you're all right.
I don't know who I thought I was going to be like offending. Like,
Offending?
people who did snuff, like, but yeah, I mean, just, I don't get it. Anyways, moral of the story is, don't worry, guys. We had a feast at Benihana because I found 1.2 miles from the hotel, and they were open till 10 o'clock. So
hilarious.
Yes, I was very pleased with the hibachi feast that
I've
was
never
upon us
eaten that
last night.
at a Benihana. I've never eaten. Well, I only ate at a PF Chang's 2 weeks ago for the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
Our
I used to
friend
love
Thomas made
PF
me
Chang's.
go
I haven't been
finally.
in years, but that's one of the few chains
was
I
good.
used to like. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Benihana is delicious. You like fried rice, right?
Mhm.
Just for that alone, it's worth going. They make
Well-
it in front of you on the hibachi, like the flat. It's like a griddle. It's no different. Honest, if you want me to be frank, same kind of griddle they use at a Waffle House.
Yeah, yeah.
They throw it on and just make everything really quick, but it's fun. I bet Henry would love it. It's like an experience. Like
Yeah.
the guy like slices up an onion and then stacks it on top and then pours some
Yeah,
oil
it's
in.
a Japanese steakhouse. Is that what it
Yes.
is? Yeah, I've
Lights
been
it
to
on
one, just not
fire.
yeah.
Oh, you've
Yeah.
been to a place like that, but just not
To
Benihana.
just not a Benihana. Yeah, I went to a place back home, but maybe I will go now that I know that they're open past 8 p.m.
It's so good and it's consistent. It's like you know what you're getting, and like the quality of their meat and everything is very good.
It fascinates me too. Like I always compare when I've visited New York with friends and
Mhm.
stuff. You know, we have friends that are writers or performers on SNL
Right.
and things like that. And when you go out for something like that, there's an after party and then the after party. Like
Right.
literally, I came out from underground at 7 a.m. and saw the sun and was like, like a rat from the city. Okay. But here in Los Angeles, I always say Los Angeles is an early to bed town, especially for a big city. Bars, I think they just a few years ago increased bar hours to like 1 a.m. because it was like midnight, go home. It's really kind of weird.
In Chicago and New York, they're open till 4 a.m.
Yeah, not LA, not California. We're a sleepy little state.
Yep. It's crazy.
Well, Jessica, I think we could use a cleansing breath. Let's get these
I do too.
rental car snafus out of our head. Let's get these stupid restaurants that want to provide food only during the times that geriatrics
Okay.
eat. Let's get it all out. I was trying to think of a way I could work in the word masticate. You know, chew.
Oh my God. Yes.
But my brain wasn't quick enough, so I instead just started to brag about how I know what masticate means. Okay, moving on. Let's take a cleansing breath. What is wrong with me today?
I don't know.
My South has no captain today. I'm just going to let you know.
No captain.
All right. This is a staple of our show.
I just thought about, why does masticate sound so much like macerate and masturbate?
Yeah.
Masticate, macerate, masturbate.
What's macerate?
That is when you like soak, say, strawberries in sugar, and it kind of breaks it down, and I think you maybe muddle it, and it really gets the essence of it out. I know this because at the Strawberry Festival in Oxnard every year, they have strawberry lemonade, and I've never had anything better in my life as far as a drink of that type, and it was because the strawberries were macerated. And
I'm assuming you can macerate other things.
I think you could probably, I think it's something you do with fruit, I'm assuming.
The more
masticate,
you know.
macerate, masturbate.
Here we go. The more you know. Oh, wrong way. Well, we learned. Was that worth it? We like to take a deep breath in and blow it out because we kind of visualize it as like we get all our angsty little complainings out and we rant about things that are sometimes important, sometimes less important. And then we take a deep breath in, we blow all of that frustration out and fill up the rest of the show with fun and goodness and raves and happiness. So if you can scream it out, always going to recommend. If you can't, at least take a second to take a deep breath, deep breath. It's so important. It affects you. And I have proof of that later. Okay, Here we go. Take a deep breath in. And I think it's great, too, when you're taking those breaths to think of them as literally cleansing breaths.
Yes.
Like
that's very Kristen
body.
Linklater, freeing the natural voice.
Oh,
did you read that in college?
I did not, no.
Oh my
God, I worked at a factory in college. I probably read very little.
You were a theater major. I didn't mean like, were you sitting on your divan reading from your library?
Oh, God. What do you want from me? Yes, I studied kabuki theater. What do you want to know? So important.
I'm going to post a drawing. I'm going to take a picture of it when I get home of some of the awful, and I say awful, it's like so 70s, so indicative that like these pencil drawings, and it's freeing the natural voice, and it shows like this oddly misshapen head and neck with like words or sound traveling out, freeing
like moment
the
shots?
natural voice.
Like
what
moment
shots?
Moment shots? Moment shots?
What is moving?
You know, perceive. Weren't the moment shots on Sesame Street?
Yes.
Wait, what were you talking about?
You're going to have to see the drawing, okay? Freeing the natural voice with the pool of breath flying out of the mouth. I hated
all
the
I
drawings.
can imagine,
it's such a
every
weird
time
look.
you're doing this, all I can imagine is you pulling tapeworms out of your body. I don't know. It's not giving me peace at all.
Oh, my God.
I just saw a post on how many different tapeworms we could possibly have in our body, and it's way too many to count.
I will throw up.
It's not okay. But here's my sick brain, because I still go, but would they make me skinny? Would they make me a skinny woman? And
can I have 18 waist?
Can I
they did
have
for Scarlett O'Hara?
Oh, can I have a symbiotic relationship?
Tapeworms and whalebone corsets, and you too can have a waist the size of a Barbie doll.
Ugh. All right, I'm going to need another cleansing breath if we keep going in that. Let's just move on into corners. What do you say?
Yes.
All right, here we go. This is an oh wow corner. I love oh wow corners. This is from, this is clearly not something I brought to the show because this is from Running Magazine.
Canadian Running Magazine.
Well, there you go. I would have never saw it. Okay, Spanish runner with cerebral palsy completes Barcelona Marathon. Amazing. Alex Roca, who has 76% cerebral palsy finished the Barcelona Marathon in 5 hours, 50 minutes, and 51 seconds. Inspiring is an understatement. I just want to show you. This article is from Running Magazine in Canada, which you said. This article is written by Marley Dickinson, and I just want to show you a picture of him. He is so excited. Look at that.
I beg you to watch the video because I did cry when you see him reaching and crossing the finish line.
God. On Sunday, 32-year-old Alex Roca of Catalunya, Spain, achieved something rare as he crossed the finish line at the Barcelona Marathon, fulfilling his lifelong dream to run a marathon as an athlete with 76% cerebral palsy, according to Nike. The Catalan, I think that's how you say it, Catalan athlete who is sponsored by Nike. I love that he's sponsored by Nike, too. Good on you, Nike. Contracted herpetic viral encephalitis at the age of 6 months, leaving him with 76% cerebral palsy. The condition involves impaired movement and exaggerated reflexes, reducing the range of motion at various joints due to muscle stiffness. Roca spent years training for this moment, running 7 half marathons before taking on the marathon. Earlier this year, he ran the Grand Haulers Half Marathon, finishing in 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 16 seconds. A month later, on February 19th, he completed the Barcelona Half Marathon in a personal best time of 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 28 seconds. He told Spanish media before the race that he wanted to send a message to the world. I love this. Quote, "The limit is up to you. And if you want to achieve an objective, whatever difficulties you have, with attitude, willpower, perseverance, and resilience, you can achieve everything you propose. And if you do not achieve it, you will have given everything and must feel gratified." Oh, I love that. Rocco was accompanied by his brother, Victor, and his interpreter, Valentini Suwan, who have for years accompanied him in his many challenges and training. San Juan also helped Roca broadcast his entire race on his online Twitch channel, where friends and fans could follow every step of his journey. That's amazing.
So fun.
Oh my God, I love it so much. You know what?
Yep.
Holy cow. Congratulations, Alex. It just makes me think of like when it's cloudy
Anytime
and raining.
many of us complain,
Yes.
Like, I don't want to.
And I'm like, I can't get out of bed. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, what an inspiring and amazing individual. What a great team of people he must have around him. Yep. Kudos to you. I love it. Congratulations, Alex. Rock on.
It's really fantastic. And seriously, it's worth looking him up. It'll pop up in a bunch of articles and they'll have a video of him running towards the finish line and crossing it. And that's
I will bawl because I couldn't finish a marathon right now. In my healthy
I couldn't walk
state.
a half marathon.
Oh, and the fact
me like
that
a week.
He has to fight his body the entire time. Like,
I know.
Oh, you are strong. You're such an inspiring individual. I love it. I love it.
Me too. Thank you, Dana.
You got? You're welcome. What you got?
Well, you're going to love this one. This is an Animal Instincts. And there's a lot of different articles about this exact story, but I'm going to read you what caught my mind because it happened to be something that popped up on one of the many nature pages that I follow on Instagram. Sex mad tortoise. I'll repeat that.
Yep.
Sex mad tortoise, which should be sex crazed. Sex mad tortoise saved his species from extinction after fathering 800 kids.
He's an old guy. He's an old guy.
Real old.
I know this turtle.
Is from. I love it.
Let me clarify.
One of my favorite names. Let me clarify. Names.
I don't know him because I've hooked up with him. Like, he gets around.
Well, clearly. I hope not.
I just know. I know him because he's a very popular turtle and been around for a minute. Just wanted to clarify.
He is so awesome. This is from zenithtecuador.com. In Ecuador, we are very happy for the great biodiversity that we have. This is a country where people have warm hospitality, extraordinary humans, and wildlife have thrived. One example of extraordinary wildlife is Diego, the giant tortoise that saved an entire species from extinction. Now, don't laugh at my pronunciation of this species. Chelonitis hudensis. Maybe one of our friends, one of our listeners that's a lizard specialist, Java and friends, maybe you can give me a corrections corner on my horrible pronunciation of this land tortoise. Diego, aka Papyrus, that means daddy in Spanish, is a turtle more than 100 years old with a saddle shell. The handsome and lustful 5 feet height and more than 50 kilograms is now the proud father of at least 40% of the baby turtles that grow comfortably on the Española Island in the Galapagos archipelago. My number one bucket list is to go to the Galapagos Islands, by the way. Back in the 60s, Ecuador was searching for a male individual to save the species, so Diego was found in the United States at a zoo in San Diego.
Oh.
Its transfer and repatriation to the archipelago as part of the Giant Tortoise Restoration Initiative started in 1976, and from that moment it became a symbol of procreation. At that time, there were only 2 male individuals and 12 female of the species. Thanks to the initiative, there are about 2,300 turtles now. The successful program is an example for conservation and was led by the Galapagos National Park and its strategic ally, the Galapagos Conservancy Fund. I don't know why I'm having all these weird affectations. Conservancy. It's because I'm like...
Because you're still remembering...
reading.
No, you're still remembering
Right.
Carrie Elway's accent.
Carrie Elway. This lone male turtle spent 87 years in captivity, but we're sure he enjoyed the stay with the companion of many female turtles that helped breeding new chelonians. So, P.S., if he was in captivity for 87 years, what is he? Larry King? Sort of getting down, having 400 babies when he was 87 years old?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A long-term task committed to the preservation of an emblematic species has finally accomplished the goals. Diego finally experienced freedom among another 14 turtles. They all were the core of all the efforts for the conservation of the magnificent Galapagos tortoise species. They are the oldest inhabitants of the archipelago. Their arrival dates back to up to 4 million years ago. Oldest islanders, and are believed they came over logs or vegetation remains dragged by the marine currents from the continent.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Well, I could just go down a rabbit hole from this. Anyways, that is one horny turtle.
It is. May I ask a question that's maybe unnecessary? And
Yes.
you probably don't have an answer to. It's just floating and living in my head. Who's in charge of monitoring incest?
I don't think anybody.
Is that going to be a problem? Are we going to have some royal turtles that are just...
I don't think so, because honestly, I feel like animals, I'm serious. And again, this is me just doing one of my, I think. So please do your fact checking. I don't know. I feel like they have a scent or like know their own. I'm serious. You know, like how dogs even can recognize their owner years later and remember that scent. I feel like in the animal kingdom, they could smell if it was their own offspring or tell in some way. No?
I have no idea, but that's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just
We'll be
trying
back
to
with
think.
more on that next week.
I was trying to think in my mind. Instantly, I went, if I was out in the world and my dad was behind a wall, would I be able to sniff it was my father? That's where my brain went.
Hilarious.
I don't know. But you could be right, because it's like I said, when I watched that show, I'm going to plug it again because it's fascinating. If you haven't watched it and you're looking for something, 100 Humans, it's on Netflix.
Yes.
One of the studies that they did was, do older people smell different than younger people? And it biologically is true. And it has something to do with seeking out fertility and things like that. So,
Weird.
And remember, I kept saying, why does my stink different now? Like, like my BO and stuff is not
okay.
It's not me. It's some
Carry
old woman.
on.
Is that
Carry
bad to say?
on.
It's just different. Okay? I mean, Jessica, I don't know what you want me to say. I'm still fertile, if that's what you want. I mean, am I opening up a box I shouldn't be?
I'm not looking
No
to father
pun
800
intended?
children.
No, I'm not either. I don't want to mother them either. I don't want 800
okay.
children. Anyway, let's get out of here before I need another cleansing breath.
Yeah. Let's bring it into some good stuff before we get out of here.
Absolutely. Let's calm ourselves. My rave this year. Jeez. We'll see you next year, guys.
Oh, you were bonkers today. What else?
I told what's new? My mouth has no captain. That's my new thing.
I mean,
Okay. So sorry. This is just a really positive, sweet thing that I found. I'm raving about it because I think it's relatable. We can all relate to it. This comes from inspiremore.com, which we get emails from and get some of our good news from and stuff. But I'm telling you, if you're ever down, just go there, inspiremore.com. They have so much good news, so much just cute stuff. It's lovely. It's lovely. So this one that I'm bringing to the table today, and this is why I mentioned earlier during cleansing breath that it really can help you. I got this from Inspire More. The article's written by Beverly Jenkins. A 2-year-old uses positive affirmations to calm down, and it's just plain adorable. So I'll read you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to play the cute little video because it's so important. One of the hardest parts of being a parent is teaching kids to calm themselves when things go wrong. I'm going to go on a limb and say I have a hard time as a parent and just simply as an adult human also calming myself. I think that's hard for a lot of people. Shelby Haderer of McLeod, Oklahoma, has a great method for helping her 2-year-old Briley soothe herself, and a video of their positive affirmations went viral. The video begins shortly after Briley accidentally smashed her little fingers in a door. She's understandably upset by the painful experience, but Shelby wisely has her daughter taking deep breaths, you guys, through the tears. Once the little girl is calmer, Shelby has her repeat a few adorable reminders that all kids should learn early and well. I'm not going to tell you them. I'm going to play them for you here in a minute. The result is practically magical. After Briley repeats these expressions of self-love and acceptance aloud, she is noticeably calmer and more composed. Her sweet "Thank you, Mom" will surely melt your heart into a puddle. Okay, are you guys ready for this?
Yes.
I'm going to make sure it's turned up so you can hear it. And I will try and hold it up to the screen for those of you watching because it's just the cutest.
Take another deep breath. Take a deep breath. Good. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay, look at Mommy. Look at Mama. I know you smashed your fingers in the door, didn't you? Yeah. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, are you okay? Yeah. Okay, look at Mommy. Say, I'm okay. I'm okay. Say, I'm strong. I'm strong. Say, I'm beautiful. I'm faithful. Say, I'm loved. I'm loved. Say, I'm worthy. I'm worthy. You're beautiful. Thank you, Mom. You're welcome, baby. I love you. I love you, Mom.
Aww.
Oh my God, I love her.
Is that not the cutest? So
Yes.
I just want to remind everybody, it's not just children that get overwhelmed. We do too. We always encourage you to take a breath with us, but if you get overwhelmed in your day-to-day life, take a second. Just breathe. It really is cleansing. It really scientifically will calm you down and help ease you and bring you peace. And then I would encourage you to say some of those beautiful things to yourself. Totally. Did you see? So just starting the video, that little girl is clearly upset and also probably hurting. I'm sure it hurt. But going through that process with her mama and breathing it out and then telling herself, you are strong, you are beautiful, all of these things, the difference in that child, literally, physically, emotionally, everything is just an absolute 180. So
people didn't do that when we were kids. And I love seeing that with friends now, like our friends.
I love it.
I mean, you may have also done this with Henry over the years, but like watching my friends tell like, okay, let's take a breath, and doing things like that instead of yelling back at them or calm down or stop crying. How many times?
You're okay.
in
You're
our
okay.
generation or our parents' generation here, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about.
Cry about. Yeah. You're fine.
What?
You're fine.
You're fine. Instead of, let's just bring it down.
Yeah. It's just recognizing something has upset you. And that's okay. It happens. That's life. But let's teach them how to calm themselves and handle the problem rather than just lose it.
Yep.
I wish somebody would teach me that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so beautiful. Kudos to that mama. Kudos to that mama for how she handles things, because that's going to make a very self-confident adult who's able to communicate without lashing out at people. So kudos to this mama. I love it. And you guys, I think it's a good lesson for us adults as well. So anyway, just a little good news tidbit there for you. Inspiremore.com. Check them out if you need a pick.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dana.
Sure.
Okay, my rant. See, we're in like a theme today. I'm like, my rant, my rave for today is another organization that one of my friends has been a huge part of and started up in many places. She does all kinds of stuff with dog rescue and has had so many different incarnations of how she can help throughout the years. And I love and respect that so much. This is very timely because if you guys know, I mean, weather's going crazy around the world and around the country. And in some areas, California, for instance, we're having unprecedented snow and rainstorms. Like people are getting what we would normally get in a year or not even in a year, getting it within 24 to 36 hours. And it's been catastrophic. And we've talked about this many times before. A lot of dog shelters and rescues, they have no means. They're lucky if they even have pens for these animals. So a lot of these animals are outside in extreme conditions. So my friend started the Ice Truck Warriors. They do that in the summer. She gets people to donate and they're able to buy a ice truck full that they go and bring and dump huge blocks of ice in the dog pens so they can lay against it, lick it, cool down, all that stuff. It's winter and we're not out of it yet. So this is obol.info is the name of the website. Operation Blankets of Love. The demand has tripled for our animal emergency relief supplies. Your generous financial contributions helps OBOL to donate directly to the rescues with much needed food and critical pet supplies. It is necessary to increase the amount of supporters. The need never stops, and neither do we. Giving monthly is the best way to provide ongoing support and help save the lives of homeless animals every day of the year. Now, obviously, you do not have to give monthly, and everyone doesn't have the means to do that. They also accept one-time donations. They will list at each level what that gets the centers. But again, you could even give $5 if you wanted. But $10 helps provide food, crates, leashes, collars, and bowls for 50 plus pets displaced during natural disasters.
Whoa.
So I'm telling you, my friend Deb, when I tell you she has done her due diligence, for these blankets, and she has a semi truck deliver to her house. She's like, oh, I don't care. The whole front of her house is pallets of blankets. They get cement tubs where they mix cement, and they get the blankets that they issue to prisons because they're very durable and they're very warm. So she gets things and buys them in huge quantities. So she is able to get a lot of mileage out of this kind of stuff.
Wow.
So I'm a big supporter of hers. She is one of many people that just walk the walk, and all of these shelters kind of and these rescue organizations rather work together. So all the rescues are trying to do what they can, not only with getting, fostering, transporting and all that with the animals, but to spread the love with all of the supplies and materials that they are raising locally. So I love that. And again, obol.info. And if you're ever wanting to do something amazing, make a donation or a visit or volunteer at one of your local shelters. We've said it so many times. all of Dana's animals, our rescue animals. It's so important. And
Yes.
that's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. $5 is a coffee.
Indeed.
It's a coffee.
Yes. Yes.
I love that so much. Thank you for bringing that.
Indeed.
Jessica,
Dana.
I think that's our show.
I think it
We
is.
got to get you out of here because we yacked so long and you got to get back
I know,
to work.
you guys. I'm sorry. I'm running out of here. I'll tell you really quick to find us, please reach out to us at the Rants and Raves podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find us on TikTok at the Rants and Raves podcast, or at the Rants and Raves P is our actual handle. Our YouTube channel, the Rants and Raves podcast on YouTube. Email us, the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or hit the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. I'm holding in a burp. I'm sorry for the awkwardness.
It's okay. I have burped so many times because the monster's back instead of coffee. Okay. Thank you for that. Everybody get in touch with us. We love it. Jessica, I'm just going to leave us with a point to ponder because you need to run off. And this is not an important one, but you can think about it later. Cans of diet soda will float in water. Regular soda cans will sink. The cans of regular soda tend to be more dense than water, so they sink. Cans of diet soda are usually less dense than water, so they float, which makes me think that if I am ever in the water with my dad, I will hold on to him because he drinks Diet Dr. Pepper as if it were water, and he will keep us afloat. Thank you, Jessica. Have a wonderful week.
I love you. And now I'm going to get on Gary on drinking some more water than Dr. P.
He's a child. He won't do it. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love ya.
Love ya. See you next week.
Bye-bye.